Hey folks, this is Kalani. With patch 10.1 finally in our hands and season 2 right around the corner, we're going to have so many different options for gearing up. But one of the easiest and most solo player friendly options is going to be crafted gear. There's a new kind of spark to collect, the Shadowflame spark, that lets you create new crafted gear at way higher item levels when compared to season 1. Some aspects of how these sparks work are similar to season 1 crafted gear, but there are also some very important differences. So we're going to go through everything you need to know about these new sparks and how you can use them to get some very easy item level 424 gear that can be upgraded all the way to item level 447. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. So first things first, what are these sparks, how can we get them, and what are they used for? Shadowflame sparks are the new Season 2 crafted gear time gate. Using a Shadowflame spark to recraft or create new crafted gear will allow you to massively increase your item level and give you access to a very reliable, easy source of gear, even if you don't take part in any kind of group content. Getting your sparks is actually super simple. There are two types of weekly quests you can complete to earn a splinter or one half of a spark. This first quest is in Loam called a Worthy Ally. You need to farm some reputation with the new Niffen faction, hand the quest in, and the bag will contain one splinter. The other option you have is weekly PvP quests in the Valdrakken PvP building. The first one you complete will give you a bag that also contains a splinter, so the choice is yours for which weekly quest to complete. One splinter per week with 2 splinters required per spark means we can get one Spark of Shadowflame every 2 weeks, and there is also a quest in Loam that grants you an extra splinter for your first time, so you can get your first spark right now, with each subsequent spark taking 2 weeks worth of quests. So as long as you get those weekly quests done, you will never fall behind in splinters or spark acquisition. So we have our first spark. How do we put it to good use? Well, it's just like season 1. We need to get a piece of gear crafted. If you don't have professions yourself, you need to pop by the crafting orders clerk. You can craft almost any piece of gear that you want, but I would recommend looking into high value targets first, like your weapons. So pick the recipe that you want crafted, collect all of the materials, and either place a public work order or find a crafter to make your stuff. Now before we continue, today's video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Here are my top 3 reasons to play Raid. Raid Shadow Legends is a free-to-play hero collection RPG for Android, iOS and PC with cross-platform support. There are hundreds of different champions to collect, giving you so many choices for how to build your teams, and the game is also constantly being updated, so there's always something new to look forward to. For a limited time, you can also join in a very special egg hunt. After downloading Raid using the links below, copy your in-game player ID and head on over to egghunt.plarium.com to journey through the flaming portal and embark on an exciting AR adventure. Scour the dragon's lair, and if you find the hidden dragon's egg, you can win amazing in-game items and even real-life prizes, including legendary champions and Amazon gift cards with a total value of $20,000. This event is for new players, but existing Raid players can join in on the excellent fun by going to egghunt.plarium.com, where you can find a special promo code for everyone to earn a small in-game gift. If you haven't played Raid before, you can use our link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to get some amazing bonuses, including a free epic champion, knight errant, and some other useful items. So click the link in the description to start your Raid Shadow Legends adventures today. Now getting back to the video, because this is crafted gear, the same rank item level scaling applies to Season 2 Shadowflame crafted gear. Rank 1 starts at item level 411 and you can go all the way up to rank 5, which will be item level 424. So make sure you're getting your stuff crafted by a well-equipped and skilled player to maximize your chances of seeing those rank 5 items. You can usually just sit in trade chat for a few minutes to find someone with the profession you want, with the specializations you can make use of, and I would honestly suggest saving that player's name if you do find someone. I don't really have to look for crafters anymore because I have a list of folks who do great work for great prices. When you find a crafter you like, keep in touch. If things continue the way they are, next patch will have yet another round of sparks and higher item level crafted gear for us to chase after, so high level crafters will always stay relevant. relevant. But anyway, if you get this stuff crafted at rank 5, you can get item level 424 gear with very little effort. Now you may be thinking, isn't this just the same as Season 1? One spark every 2 weeks, so we can craft a new piece of gear every 2 weeks. And you are partially correct. The pacing of obtaining your Shadowflame sparks is the same as Season 1, but there are two huge differences which make Season 2 so much better. To start with, we will get one spark every 2 weeks of progress or splinter collecting from now until the end of the season, so you will always get one spark every 2 weeks if you're doing the weekly quests. No questions, no ifs or buts, no random drops, it's all steady and reliable progress. The other major difference for Season 2 Sparks is the actual crafting recipes. In Season 1, Sparks weren't really that big of a problem or time gate, especially for solo players or anyone who didn't spam high-level Mythic Plus. Primal Chaos was your bottleneck most of the time. You could have all 5 Sparks from the quests, but without a good source of Primal Chaos, you couldn't actually use them to craft gear. Well, Primal Chaos is gone, and nothing is replacing it for Season 2. All you need is the Spark and some crafting materials. That's it. So crafting gear in Season 2 is just much easier overall, but especially for solo players without that Primal Chaos currency in play. Interestingly, you can still use old sparks to craft gear without the Primal Chaos cost, which can give you some very quick and easy gearing options for new alts especially. So if you haven't used all of your old sparks yet, you can look into replacing some low item level pieces with the old crafted gear. Something else I want to go over is how these sparks work for your alts and what catch-up mechanics we have in place just in case you missed your weekly splinter quest. After unlocking the weekly quest on one character, any alt you have should be able to go straight down to Loam and pick up both the splinter quest as well as the weekly Niffin quest to earn your splinter. So all you have to do is farm the rep, turn in the quest, and your alts can get their splinters easy peasy. Remember that you do also have the PvP weekly quests if that's something you'd rather do, so if you think that's easier or faster for your alts to do, keep that in mind. As far as catch-up mechanics go, it's incredibly simple. If you miss a spark, you will have a chance to earn that spark in a variety of other content, including Mythic Plus, PvP wins, the new world boss, Fire Wreck Assaults, the Researchers Under Fire event, Niffin Cave Dives, and Aberrus raid bosses. So pretty much everything at max level in the new patch. Sparks can only drop in this extra content while you are behind the current pace of spark creation, so as soon as you're caught up to everyone else, you will no longer be able to get sparks outside of those weekly quests. So no matter who you are or how you play, Shadowflame Sparks give you access to item level 424 gear without really having to do anything besides get those weekly quests completed and collect your splinters every week. If you can do that, you can craft a new piece of gear every 2 weeks that can be up to item level 424 baseline. Eventually, you'll be able to make a full set of gear without touching any kind of other content. But the real value in this gear comes from its ability to be upgraded. This will require a bit more work, but it's totally worth it. To upgrade your Season 2 crafted gear, you will need enchanted crests. These are created by an enchanter, and you'll need to make a work order for them if you are not an enchanter yourself. There is the Enchanted Worm Crest and then the Enchanted Aspect Crest. The key component in both of these upgrade items are the Shadowflame crests that you should have been introduced to by now. The two that we're interested in for this specific video are Worm Crests and the Aspect Crests. Worm crests come from killing bosses on heroic mode in the new raid or from doing Mythic Plus dungeons between plus 11 and 15, so if you're able to push that high in Mythic Plus keys or kill bosses in Aberrus on heroic, you can take those worm crests, craft them into enchanted worm crests and upgrade your gear up to 437. Aspect crests come from the raid on Mythic difficulty or Mythic Plus keys above level 16, so if you can push a bit higher and get these higher tier crests, you'll gain access to those enchanted aspect crests and be able to upgrade your crafted gear all the way to item level 447, and you can do this for every piece of crafted gear you get, so it doesn't matter if you get super unlucky with drops in dungeons or raids or whatever else, you can specifically choose which items to craft and upgrade, so if you desperately need a high item level weapon, crafting one is probably your best bet. Now you may be thinking, there's no way I can do that, Mythic plus 11? I've never gone that high before, and you can forget plus 15 keys, that's insane! I would encourage you to challenge yourself this season. There are so many changes for the Mythic plus system specifically in Season 2 that should make it smoother, if not easier, to progress when compared to pretty much any other season we've had in the game. To start with, there is no seasonal affix, so you don't have that huge new meta mechanic that you have to understand 100% of or risk the wrath of whatever pug you're deciding to run with. No seasonal affix this time, so that should make learning and understanding the dungeon runs much easier already, but in addition to that, the pacing of affixes has also been changed quite dramatically. You won't see the first affix on your keys until plus 7 now, so from plus 2 up to plus 6 you only have tyrannical or fortified. The second affix won't be seen until plus 14, so you can do those plus 11 keys and get worm crests, and you will only have one affix you need to pay attention to. That should make learning dungeons and progressing up your keystone levels a lot easier than before, so again, challenge yourself. There's no better season to give this a shot than Season 2. This is almost a perfect gearing system in my opinion, because it's easy to get into at the lower levels, but you can upgrade the gear so far that it never becomes obsolete, and you know we'll be taking this crafted gear into the next season, just like how Season 1 gear can be upgraded for Season 2, so even when we head into patch 10.2 in Season 3, all of the time and effort and gold you put into this gear right now is not going to be wasted long term, which is great. So that's everything you need to know about sparks, how they work and how to get them, but what should you be using them on? I would personally recommend crafting a weapon first, especially if you are a class that uses 2 weapons like a rogue or demon hunter. For casters, you can get a one-handed weapon this week and hope you get an offhand somewhere else, or save up 2 sparks and get a 2-handed weapon later on. There's also quite a few options like upgrading your lariat, rings are great, and specific trinkets can be a good investment, but because each class and spec is different, I will give you a link to this Wowhead page that goes over the best embellishments and crafted items for each specific spec. That way you can be sure you're making the most out of your sparks while we only have 1 or 2 to work with. But that's everything you should need to fully understand Shadowflame sparks and why they are so valuable for absolutely every kind of player. What items are you going to craft first? How do you feel about crafted gear being so valuable as the expansion progresses? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all our members here on YouTube. You can see the names floating by on screen. If you'd like to add your name to the end of every video, the special shout out at the start of the next video, you can find links in the description over to Patreon, or click the join button just below this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.